He never thought something like this would happen to him. The protagonist, Liang, transmigrates to a world called the Great Wilderness. He was in a desperate situation. He accidentally awakened a system called the Bloodline System. And everything changed from that moment. By infusing himself with the bloodlines of ancient divine beasts, the protagonist is able to gain immense power while gradually refining his own godly talents. In the beginning of the story we see a beautiful place which looks amazing. And someone says at this quiet place, Wade? What are you doing? Then we see a boy and he is looking at this great wilderness, and he is surprised. And then someone says to that boy, Silly boy, what are you staring at blankly? And this man is that boy's father. And he is surprised to see his father in front of him. Then his father says, You silly boy, you don't even know your dad anymore. Come quickly and help pull in the net. Let's see how today's catch is. I'll show you some real skills later. And the boy is still surprised. By the way, the name of this boy is Liang Chu. Then he starts following his father, and in a short while his father catches a lot of fish. And Liang Chu is watching this with surprise. And then a crab bites his leg, which hurts him, and his father laughs at him. Then his father cooks fish, and as he eats the fish bone gets stuck in his throat. And Liang Chu helps his father. Then Liang Chu makes faces of both of them on the boat. And this is how time passes. And in the evening, when both of them are sitting and relaxing, Liang Chu's attention goes towards a red carp, and he is surprised to see the red carp. Then he jumps into the water to catch the red carp, but when he looks ahead, he is surprised, because the fish has run away. And Liang Chu thinks, The fish is gone. Why are there no fish in the water? So strange, why can't I move after entering the water? Damn it. Totally. Can't move, save me. Save me, Dad. After a while, the boy opens his eyes, and as he looks in front, he gets surprised, because there are two men in front of him, and they have tied him with a rope. And one of those men says, Yo, you're awake now? Miss your dad now? And the old man's name is Lai Tu and the other man's name is Master Zhang. And Liang Chu sees that he is tied with a rope, and he asks both of them, What are you doing to me? But Lai Tu laughs and says to Master Zhang, Master Zhang is still so clever. Tricking this kid into leading us, but in reality, he's just bait to lure that water monster. We're here keeping watch for you, and you're still sleeping soundly, huh? And Liang Chu says, So it was just another dream, huh? It's been a month since I came to this world. The original owner of this body fell seriously ill and passed away. And I came to this world to take his place. The original owner lost his mother during birth, only his father was with him growing up. Until 3 months ago, he passed away from illness. But the feelings left in my heart are feelings I never had. In a month I still didn't fully understand the social circle of the original owner. As a result, I was tricked by a slick-talking liar and became bait for capturing monsters. After spending a month in this world, I discovered that it possesses different types of supernatural abilities. Humans can cultivate their abilities to reach unimaginable realms, and those who step into this field are referred to as warriors. As for the creatures of this world, apart from humans that can cultivate, these creatures can also evolve through cultivation. They are generally referred to as. And then Master Zhang feels that something is moving towards him, and he shouts and asks Lai Tu to be alert. And Ram gets shocked when he realizes that a water beast is coming towards them. And Liang Chu looks back, and we see a huge shadow moving around their boat. And we can see the tail of the water beast, and it's a crocodile. And Master Zhang gets scared and he thinks, Shit! Isn't a water beast half human height? And the crocodile attacks their boat with its tail, and its tail is as big as their boat. Then the crocodile starts moving towards them, and Master Zhang gets ready and he says, This moment has finally come. So many years just for this one moment. This punch is 10 years worth of power. Can you handle it? But Master Zhang gets shocked when he sees that the crocodile has opened its mouth and attacked him. And the crocodile is very big, and it easily destroys the boat in one go. And seeing this, Lai Tu gets very scared, and he starts shouting and he says in panic, I cannot die here. And Lai Tu starts looking back, and Liang Chu understands what Lai Tu is going to do now. And Lai Tu cuts Liang Chu's hand with a dagger, due to which his blood gets mixed in the water. And Liang Chu starts going deeper into the water, and he is screaming in pain and asking for help, but there is no one here to help him. He is in a lot of pain, but still he starts opening the rope with his teeth. But the crocodile is moving towards him, and Liang Chu starts fainting, and he thinks, I already can't go on anymore. And then he sees his father in front of his eyes, and his father is trying to wake him up, and seeing his father awakens a hope inside Liang Chu, and he thinks, how good would it be if it was real? And as soon as Liang Chu holds his father's hand, he holds a piece of wood on which he had drawn a picture of his father and him. And he comes above the water, and then he comes to know that this is a part of his father's boat. But his trouble is not over yet, because the crocodile attacks him, due to which he again starts going into the depth of the water. And the crocodile has bitten Liang Chu's leg, and is taking him down. And Liang Chu thinks, I've tried my best. Daddy.so, sorry, really. Sorry. Then the crocodile moves towards Liang Chu to eat him, and he has opened his very big jaw to eat Liang Chu. And now Liang Chu starts becoming unconscious, but then something comes in front of him, and then his system gets activated. Z activation in progress. Detected obtainable Z spirit. Beep. Successfully acquired. Possible ability awakening, water manipulation, acquirable ability awakening. Water monkey, acquiring, acquisition complete. Successfully refined, awakening in progress. Body recovery. Then Liang Chu opens his eyes and he says, Am I not dead? Died in the water, and Liang Chu remembers that he had been attacked by a crocodile. Then he realizes that he is still under the water, and so he gets a little nervous. But spiritual energy is flowing around him, and he is surprised to see it, and he says, Why does it feel like walking on land in the water? It seems like the resistance has disappeared, and then the system tells Liang Chu, ability water flow control acquired successfully. The ability to control water flow at the cost of physical energy. And Liang Chu is shocked, and he says, water manipulation? Even my breathing I can breathe underwater. My injuries have also healed. But then the crocodile comes forward from behind him, and it is about to eat Liang Chu by opening its huge jaws, and Liang Chu gets scared. And he closes his eyes, and when he opens his eyes we see that the water's spiritual power stops the crocodile. And Liang Chu is shocked to see this, and he thinks, these water currents, did I create them? Could it be the system mentioned in novels? So, in the water, I have no limits anymore. I can even control it. But then the crocodile frees itself, and Liang Chu is shocked, because he is just learning to use his power. And the crocodile attacks Liang Chu again, but this time Liang Chu easily escapes from the crocodile's jaws. And Liang Chu comes on top of the crocodile, and he thinks, continuing like this isn't a solution. Is there any way to subdue? Then the system says, ability, blood command seal, acquired successfully. Effect, by inscribing ancient runes using the host's blood, a contract can be formed with a water beast. And Liang Chu gets happy hearing this and is now ready to fight with the crocodile. And the crocodile attacks Liang Chu again, but this time Liang Chu starts controlling the water flow and tries to trap the crocodile again. But the crocodile frees itself again, and Liang Chu stops its attack with great difficulty. Then he uses the blood command seal and using his power touches the crocodile's head with his hands, and tries to tame it. But Liang Chu is facing difficulties, but still he does not give up. But he is also getting benefit from this, and he is thinking, so here is a battle of willpower. Am I going to fall? No, I want to live. You mere beast. Submit to me. And Liang Chu uses all his energy. After some time, Liang Chu comes out of the water, but he is tired. But he is still alive, due to which he is happy. Then the crocodile slowly starts moving towards him and comes in front of Liang Chu. And Liang Chu says, of course, in the end, I managed to subdue this big guy. And the system says, owner, Liang Chu, refinement of Z spirit, water monkey, white, synchronization, 5%, water essence, none, water beast tamed. Taiwa Croc consumes 80 points of water essence for evolution, evaluation. Water monkey Z spirit originates from the great lord of the Huai whirlpool, can awaken the potential of small, weak individuals with limited vitality. And Liang Chu says to the crocodile, "Stay here. I'll call you if something comes up." Then the crocodile goes back into the river, and Liang Chu thinks, after taming it, a mental link was formed between it and me, allowing us to contact each other anytime, or for it to reach out to me. I need to go home, find something to eat, and get some good rest. Luckily, the memories I fused with include this terrain, so it's not too far from home. And we see the crocodile going inside a cave, and there are lots of lotus flowers blooming there, and the place looks really beautiful. Next day, we see some people, and one of them is Lai Tu, and Lai Tu is saying, "Butler Jing, it's this way. Butler Jing, follow me this way." And seeing those people, one of the villagers says, "Who are those people? Are they heading to Wade House?" And another villager says, "Lai Tu Zhang is with the people from the Xiao family. Wade must have gotten into some trouble." Then we see a boy, and his name is Lilibo, and he is listening to those people. Then he says, "Oh no, Wade is in trouble now." And Lai Tu brings them near Liang Chu's house, and Lai Tu is smiling inside. And he is thinking, if Liang Chu dies, his possession is all mine to manage. This just happens to be a way to make up for the failure of this mission. It's all to blame for the Zhang guy being so weak. Then Lai Tu kicks Liang Chu's door and breaks it, and they enter Liang Chu's house. And Lai Tu is smiling. Then he turns around and gets very shocked, because in front of him is Liang Chu, who is still alive. And seeing him, Lai Tu shouts and says, "You? How are you still alive?" And Liang Chu says, "What are you all doing?" And Lai Tu points his finger at Liang Chu and says, You are not dead?" And the man behind him says, "What do you mean, dead or alive? Why are you handling everything so recklessly?" Lai Tu says, "Master Jing, this is the Liang Chu. And this man's name is Xiao family butler, Jing Xiang." And Jing Xiang says, "Oh? So you're that Liang Chu? I'm surprised you're not dead. Truly lucky to be alive." And Lai Tu says, "A true disaster, surviving for 8,000 years. Then Jing Xiang orders his men to take Liang Chu away from here, and they do the same, and they catch Liang Chu, and when Liang Chu tries to resist, Lai Tu punches him in his stomach and he says, "What are we going to do?" "Humph." Master Xiao asked Master Zhang, the martial artist, to help subdue the water beast for the good of the villagers. "But you went ahead and colluded with the water beast to kill Master Zhang. You've caused our Xiao family to lose a significant amount of money, and put the villagers in danger." And Liang Chu says, "Clearly it was you people who set the trap and tied me up, to make me the water beast's bait." And Lai Tu says, "You killed Master Zhang and still dare to come back? You're too arrogant. You monster!" And Liang Chu thinks, "A monster, huh? In my past life, I was indeed called a monster for being solitary and independent." And Liang Chu recalls how some people used to make fun of Liang Chu, a person without parents. Is just someone who likes to steal things? And they used to laugh at Liang Chu a lot. Liang Chu used to get very angry, but he used to remain silent. And they used to say, "Oh, you're showing that kind of monster look. If you're so brave, come and fight me." But Liang Chu fought back on time. And he punched a boy hard on his face and broke his tooth. And remembering all these things he thinks, "But the reason I was called a monster back then was because I was ruthless. Although there's a chance my abilities might be exposed, surrendering without a fight isn't my style now." And Liang Chu fights back and hits Lai Tu on his stomach with his head, and he frees himself from those people very easily. And Liang Chu thinks, "Even if I really become the monster you speak of, I'll still bite off a piece of your flesh." And water power starts flowing in Liang Chu's hand. Then Lai Tu says, "You still dare to make a move? I say, Jing Butler, let's just tie him up and take him to our Xiao family. Aren't we just lacking people to take care of that? I think this orphaned kid is perfect for the job." And Jing Xiang says, "Hey, if you agree to be Master Xiao's adopted son, we can let this slide. Otherwise, today, I'll break your legs." And then some villagers are watching all this, and they say, "Here to take another adopted son, huh?" I heard that in the neighboring county, several people who went to the Xiao family disappeared without a trace. The Xiao family has taken in quite a few people recently. It's really strange. And then someone says, "Let me see who dares to bully little Wade here." And we see that Li Libo has come here with an old man, and that old man is village head Li. And as soon as Xingxiang sees the village head, he says, "Old fool. You." And the village head gets angry and shouts, "What you? I am a high-ranking official of the Great Shan. What do you want? Are you going to attack a public servant?" And on hearing the village head's words, Xingxiang gets angry, but he is unable to say anything. And the village head gets even more angry and says, "What he? You all should show some respect to my position with Master Xiao. If you keep talking, I might just collapse right here." And Xingxiang gets angry and says, "Dodge, you old fool, humph. Old man, I won't argue with you today. Once I report this to Master Xiao, this matter isn't over. Humph. Let's go." Then they start leaving from Liang Chu's house, but while leaving Lai Tu says, "Pa. Just like your father, ungrateful." And after those people leave, the village head says to Liang Chu, "Little Wade. There are some things you should avoid if you can." And Liang Chu says, "Thank you, Grandpa village head, Wade will remember." Then those two also start leaving, and the village head says, "Stop looking. Scatter, scatter." After those people leave, Liang Chu starts looking at his water power, and he says, "This kind of thing might happen many more times in the future. Grandpa village head can save me once, but he can't keep saving me every time. I need to become more proactive. This system is my opportunity." And the system says, "Water essence detected, beast evolution progress plus 0.1. And Liang Chu gets surprised on hearing this. Then at night, Liang Chu comes near the river, and using his power he says, "After taming that Taiwa croc, I am able to summon it with mental link anytime." And then the water starts glowing and Liang Chu is also watching this. And then something comes out of the water, and we see that his crocodile comes near Liang Chu, but its size has become smaller. And Liang Chu gets shocked on seeing this, and he asks the crocodile, "Where did my big croc go?" And the system tells Liang Chu, the tamed water beasts can control their energy consumption by adjusting their body size at will. Chibi version, little crocodile energy consumption, extremely low. And Liang Chu says it still has such a feature. As expected of the system, "Oh right, where did you find the water essence? Show me the way." Then both of them start going deep into the water, and the crocodile shows Liang Chu the way, and the crocodile starts taking him inside the underwater cave, and Liang Chu says, "It seems like we've entered an underwater mountain cave. This place it's so spectacular. Are these the legendary mystic herbs?" And when Liang Chu touches a herb, the system tells him, "Discovered a mystic herb containing water essence. Please choose to absorb it." In this world, there exist certain natural treasures that have absorbed extraordinary powers. These plants, possessing special effects, are referred to as mystic herbs. It's said that in the Zhao Manor's backyard, there is an icy pond. At the bottom of the icy pond, some special water chestnut. The Xiao family head has long used them to win over warriors from areas as patrons. I want to see how much water essence these mystic herbs can give me. By the way, you've got time, come and help me. You're so lazy, I should just call you immovable. And Liang Chu comes out of the river with lots of herbs, and he is happy to see the herbs and he starts eating them. And the system tells him, "Water essence discovered. It can be used to enhance the Z-spirit synchronization and water beast's evolution progress." And Liang Chu finds it delicious, and Liang Chu starts eating more of the herbs, due to which he starts getting water essence. After some time, Liang Chu has eaten all the herb and he starts checking his status. Host, Liang Chu refinement of Z-spirit, water monkey, white synchronization, 5%, water essence, 25, water beast tamed, Taiwa croc, consumes 800 points of water essence for evolution, evaluation. And Liang Chu says, Z-spirit synchronization and water beast's evolution progress. Better on improving myself first. I can almost feel my body improving at a rapid pace. To fish for now. Then somebody throws a fish in front of Liang Chu, and we see that the one doing this is a crocodile. Liang Chu catches the crocodile and he is very happy, and he is thinking, this temporary economic crisis can be solved, I'll just sell it in the market. Next morning, Liang Chu came to the market and he said, I sold a big yellow fish for 80 yen, and made a small profit. The merchants in this world are nothing like the aunties in the markets from my past life, it was so easy to convince them. Hee hee. Once I've dealt with the water essence problem, next up is to find a time to settle accounts with Lai Tu Zhang. And then Lai Tu comes behind him and he laughingly says, oh, isn't that Wade? Oh, the other day, there was a little misunderstanding between us. I was just about to find you and apologize. What a coincidence. My boat's not far, let's have a nice meal and clear up the misunderstanding, don't worry. Just the two of us. But Lai Tu thinks, only the two of us, where can you run to? And Liang Chu says, alright. Just the two of us, I'm perfectly at ease. Lai Tu then recalls what happened with him the previous night. Jingxiang had beaten him badly, and he tells him, something went wrong with the experiments in the manor recently. A lot of people died. The manor is in urgent need of elixir's materials. That Liang Qiyu. He's an orphan with no family, making him the perfect choice. You understand, don't you? And Lai Tu fearfully says, I understand. I understand. That brat Liang Chu won't escape, no matter what. Tomorrow, I'll put him up myself. And Jingxiang says, if you do this well, Master Xiao will even ask those great figures to help you ascend to immortality. And Lai Tu says, for real? So Jingxiang replies to him, of course, it's real. And Lai Tu becomes happy on hearing Jingxiang's answer and he says, I'm going to become immortal. I am also, finally going to ascend, ha ha ha. Then we see that a different kind of pattern is formed on his body. And he starts laughing out loud and he says, I'm going to succeed. In the present time, we see Lai Tu and Liang Chu sitting in the boat, and Lai Tu is cooking something and he says, Wade, look at this beautiful, quiet place, not a single boat in sight. Let's have a good meal and settle our little misunderstanding, just the two of us. Heh. And Liang Chu says, you're sure there are no other boats around? And Lai Tu says, of course. I scouted the area carefully. And Lai Tu thinks, haha, as long as you drink this fish soup, you can scream all you want but no one's coming to save you. Then Liang Chu gets up and activates his powers, and Lai Tu is a little shocked to see this. But we see that Liang Chu has spread water on his face due to which he is not able to breathe properly, and he slowly starts losing consciousness. Then it becomes night, and Lai Tu opens his eyes and he sees that Liang Chu has tied him with a rope. And Liang Chu has robbed his money and he is sitting in front of him, and he is saying, well, you were sleeping quite soundly, huh? And Lai Tu says in panic, what are you trying to do? So Liang Chu replies to him, looks like you made quite a profit selling me out to the Xiao family. This must be at least 2 taels, huh? And Lai Tu tells Liang Chu that he can explain, but Liang Chu says, take a good look around, does this place seem familiar to you? This. Isn't this the place where we hunted the water beast that night? And then the crocodile comes out of the water and now it is in its original size, and as soon as Lai Tu sees the crocodile he gets very scared, and Liang Chu tells him, it was a water monster, yes. But now it's my pet. Didn't you say I was a monster? And Lai Tu says in fear, you really are a monster. Man. Wade, don't eat me. I can tell you everything. So then Liang Chu tells him, then tell me, why does Steward Jing want me in the Zhao manor so badly? And why has he been hiring so many servants lately? And Lai Tu says, those people. They're all materials for Master Zhao's ascension to immortality. He needs to refine immortal elixir to ascend. Those people were all taken to be used for elixir refining. And hearing this, Liang Chu says, looks like you've captured a lot of innocent people, huh? And Lai Tu says, that, I was forced. I didn't have a choice. So. But Lai Tu thinks, you worthless scum. Wait until I bring Master Zhao's followers out, and I'll turn you into my elixir materials. I'll make you wish you were dead. And Lai Tu is about to say something, but Liang Chu attacks him with a stone and kills him, and he says, "But you've seen it all. I've shown you the monster side of me. Bringing me into the manor was for elixir refining. If I don't kill him, it'll be me who dies. Looks like I need to find a powerful backing to buy myself some time to grow stronger." Then Lai Tu's body starts going deeper into the water, but then the pattern in his body gets activated and starts glowing. 3 days later, in the morning, we see Liang Chu's boat, and a bird is sitting on the boat. But then a hand comes out of the water, due to which the bird gets scared and runs away from there. And we see that Liang Chu is back in his boat, and his crocodile is also with him. And Liang Chu is happy to see his increased power, and he is saying, "Having power makes things way too convenient. It's already been 3 days since I killed Lai Tu Zhang. To avoid suspicion, I've been acting like an ordinary fisherman, going out early, coming back late, selling fish for money. I haven't even gone near the lotus pond. As for this boat, I managed to cover things up using Lai Tu Zhang's identity. But the Xiao family's forces definitely won't let this slide. Lai Tu Zhang's sudden disappearance will eventually lead back to me. I have to become a martial artist fast, and the fastest way to do that is by joining a martial arts school. There are 3 martial arts schools in Pingyang town, and the strongest one is the Yang Clan Martial Hall. It's said that the head of the Yang Clan Martial Hall possesses immense strength, able to shatter gold and split stones. That's why he remains unrivaled at the top. As long as I can join this martial hall, the Xiao family won't dare to touch me. After all, a disciple going missing would cause major trouble for the school, But the entry fee is at least 5 to 8 taels. Right now, I only have 2 taels and 8 win. Looks like I need to find a way to earn more money. Then the crocodile tries to tell Liang Chu some story, and Liang Chu tells him, "Pahaha. Guess I was overthinking things again. Worrying about the future too much. Ever since my last upgrade, my body has been slowly adapting to my growing strength. My mental power has also increased quite a bit. I should be able to control another 2 to 2.5 immovable. Alright, let's keep fishing. Ever since my awakening, moving in the water feels more and more natural, immovable. Let's keep racing. Racing against immovable has been my main method of training lately. This technique compresses the water flow to the extreme under my feet and then bursts forward. The downside is that it's not sustainable. It drains my stamina rapidly. But for now, nothing should be able to match my speed." And then a shadow passes in front of Liang Chu, seeing which Liang Chu is surprised, and he thinks, "Huh? What was that? This is a mystic fish." In this world, some species have evolved through unique powers. The fish living in the Great Marsh are known as mystic fish. There are 2 of them. It's hard enough to even see one, but today, I actually found 2. But both the fishes start moving forward rapidly, and seeing this, Liang Chu says to the crocodile, "Immovable. You go for that one." And the crocodile comes back to his original form, and he also starts moving rapidly behind that fish, and Liang Chu goes to catch the other fish, and he is saying, "Damn it. I should have brought a fishing net." Then Liang Chu uses his power and moves quickly towards the fish to catch it, and he uses water flow control to trap the fish in one place, and quickly goes and catches it. And he is happy to see the fish that he has caught. But then Liang Chu sees a huge shadow behind him, and it is a huge fish. And Liang Chu still doesn't know what is behind him, and he is saying, "Today's haul isn't bad at all. I can make a good amount of money from this." But then a big fish catches him, and Liang Chu is surprised as to what is in front of him. And the big fish throws him away, due to which Liang Chu starts coughing and feels pain. And he sees a huge catfish in front of him and he thinks, "What the hell is this thing? I heard there's a 6-whiskered man-eating catfish lurking at the bottom of Yixing City's river. Damn it, just my luck to run into it. What's it doing now? Another attack?" But then Liang Chu uses his power, due to which the catfish is not able to attack Liang Chu. And Liang Chu is using water flow control, but then the catfish breaks that thing, and Liang Chu thinks that was close. Good thing my reflexes are fast enough. But still the catfish attacks Liang Chu and the catfish starts laughing. Liang Chu gets angry seeing this. But then the catfish feels something and the crocodile attacks it, due to which it feels a lot of pain. The crocodile again moves towards it and attacks it and bites it, due to which the catfish feels a lot of pain. Liang Chu starts going near the catfish and says, "Now's my chance. At this point, if I don't tame you, I'm dead for sure." Liang Chu uses the blood command seal and thinks, "My spare mental power should be just enough to subdue it." The system says, "Warning. Host actions will cause a mental overload. Host is advised to cease this action immediately. Warning. Mental energy too low. Attempting to dominate the water beast may cause backlash. Host is advised to cease action immediately. Host, stop immediately. Warning. Mental energy critically low. Host, cease action immediately. Warning. Mental overload detected." But Liang Chu does not give up and uses all his power. After a while, Liang Chu comes back to his boat and he takes a sigh of relief, then he says, "Huff. Ha! I made it, K. Finally, I didn't expect that fat catfish to have such strong mental resistance. Almost lost control there. But the rewards are just as great." And the system says, by taming the 6-whiskered catfish, evolution is now possible. Consume 800 units of water essence to evolve 6-whiskered catfish into tiger-headed catfish. And Liang Chu looks at the catfish and he says, "You're so fat. I'll call you Chunky. That suits you. Next up, time to process today's catch. It's that smaller mystic fish. Immovable, you really are reliable." And Liang Chu has caught a lot of fish, then he starts cooking one of them and he says, "Let's try eating the small one first, and see if it boosts my strength." After a while Liang Chu has eaten the fish and he is liking it very much, and he says, "I'll keep this little horn as a souvenir." Also Liang Chu's water essence increases and he says, 18 points. That's equivalent to 18 mystic lotus roots. If the small one gives this much, then the big one should be at least 3 times more. Maybe 53 water essence points. My fusion rate is already at 7.5%, and with both the small and big fish, I can break past 10% immediately. But I have to hold back for now, saving up for tuition is the priority. Though, this should be more than enough. Then the scene shifts, Yixing City, marketplace entrance. The market is very crowded and Liang Chu is going forward to sell the fish. And then he sees some people who are looking at something. Seeing which Liang Chu is also surprised and he says, "Huh? Didn't last month's festival just pass? What's being celebrated now?" Then we see a boy named Qinjie Chang. And he has a fish in his hand, and a man is shouting, "Come and take a look. This is a once-in-a-century mystic fish, weighing exactly 1.18 kilograms. And as soon as the crowd hears this, they are also surprised, and they all come to see the fish. And Liang Chu, seeing such a huge crowd, he is a bit surprised and he says, "Oh, he caught a mystic fish too." And Liang Chu also enters the crowd to see the fish, but they are not happy to see Liang Chu. Then Liang Chu goes to that boy and he says, "Our Shangrao dock must truly be blessed by the river god. 2 mystic fish caught in a single day." And another man says, "What nonsense are you spewing? That Chin brat only caught 1 mystic fish." So Liang Chu says, "I wasn't talking about him. I was talking about mine." But the crowd starts laughing after seeing Liang Chu's fish and they say, "You? Ha! That ugly fish of yours counts as a mystic fish? You probably just grabbed any random fish to jack up the price." And everyone starts laughing at Liang Chu, and Qinjie Chang is also smiling after seeing Liang Chu's fish and he gets arrogant. But then someone comes there and he says, "Oh, isn't that a red blood perch? And this man's name is Hu Qi." Then one man says, "Isn't that a red blood perch? It really is. Such an imposing presence." And Hu Qi asks Qinjie Chang, "How much for this one?" So Qinjie Chang says, "Yes, sir. Whatever price you think is fair." And Hu Qi asks, "How much does it weigh?" And Qinjie Chang says, 1.18 kilograms. And Hu Qi says then, "Will you sell it for 151? And hearing this, Qinjie Chang becomes very happy and many people are surprised. Then Liang Chu says, "Sir, Take a look at mine too. But the crowd says, look at yours, Liang family brat, have some shame. If you anger the martial instructor, we'll all be dragged into this. But as soon as Huchi sees the fish caught by Liang Chu, he is surprised and he says, oh, this is oxhorn pomfret? And Liang Chu says, yes. It weighs 1.61 kilograms. And Liang Chu thinks so that's what it's called, oxhorn pomfret. And Huchi says, how about 325 yen for this one? And as soon as the crowd hears this, they all get very shocked, and they say, dear heavens! My family hasn't saved even 300 yen across generations. And Qinjie Chang is also surprised, and one man says, humph, careful you don't end up earning money you won't live to spend. And Liang Chu gets ready to sell the fish. Then Qinjie Chang starts leaving from there, and Liang Chu asks Huchi, sir, may I ask why my fish is worth twice as much as the red blood perch? So Huchi says, oxhorn pomfret horns can be used in medicine. They're refined into sealed pills, which boost vitality and help break through blood stagnation. I'm currently at that stage, so it's extremely useful to me. And Liang Chu says thank you to Huchi, and he thinks, good thing I kept the little pomfret's horn as a souvenir. In the evening, Liang Chu is sitting and counting his money, but then someone comes behind him and Liang Chu gets scared. But we see that it is his friend, and he says, good lad. You're really making our town proud. And Liang Chu says, oh. It's you. I didn't get the chance to properly thank you last time. And Li Libo says, then why don't you give me that 350 yen? But Liang Chu refuses. Then he says, by the way, do you know how much it costs to join Yang's clan martial hall? And Li Libo says, you're asking the right person. My dad's about to send me there. Master Yang's martial hall charges 350 yen for tuition fees, no meals or lodging included. 500 yen covers lodging, and 1,000 yen includes both lodging and medicinal baths. Meals are extra charges. It's pricier than the other two halls, but it makes sense since it's the best. And Liang Chu thinks 350 yen. With the savings from these past days, today's 325 yen, and my 130 yen from fishing, I have 455 yen. That's enough. And Liang Chu says, let's go sign up together tomorrow. And Li Libo says, whoa. So you're actually rich? No problem. And then Liang Chu hears someone's voice, and finds Mystic. Fish. Again. And Liang Chu looks back. Then the scene shifts, and we see a man, and he is Zhao Manor, underground chamber. And he says that bastard Lai Tu Zhang has vanished, but we trace the leads back to a boy named Liang Qiyu. And the person in front says, don't bother me with such trivial matters every day. Take care of it yourselves. And the manager becomes silent. At night, Liang Chu is cooking in the boat and making a very delicious dish. And now, finally the dish is ready, which Liang Chu tastes and finds very fresh and fragrant. He gives it to both the pets to eat and says, here, you guys should have some too. Liang Chu's water essence becomes plus 24 and he says, as expected from the mystic fish, this water essence is coming in fast. And my strength is growing noticeably too. This time, I really got lucky. Ah Fei found another treasure fish. Right. It's time to upgrade. The 18 from the oxhorn pomfret last time, plus this 24. Then Liang Chu clicks on refining and his power level increases and his status also increases. Host, Liang Chu, refinement of Z Spirit, Water Monkey, White, Synchronization, 11.7%. Water Essence, Beast Tamed, Taiwa Croc, consumes 799 water essence to evolve into Horned Crocodile. Water Beast Tamed, 6-Whiskered Catfish, consumes 799 water essence to evolve into Tigerhead Catfish. Evaluation. And Liang Chu says a sparring partner would be perfect right now. My water control ability has increased significantly. I'd only fed a little scrap, and the essence requirements for immovable and chunky have dropped. Water Beast Tamed, Taiwa Croc, consumes 799 water essence to evolve into Horned Crocodile. Water Beast Tamed, 6-Whiskered Catfish, consumes 799 water essence to evolve into tiger head catfish. This thing is so mysterious. Was it man-made? Or did it grow naturally? So far, from what I can see, one side looks like the Ing dragon, and the other is a massive ape like Wazik. Another side shows gods with human heads and snake bodies, and the last side is a mysterious emperor in a black robe. Never mind. Thinking too much is useless right now. Tomorrow, I'll head to the martial hall. I need to grow stronger quickly to deal with the Xiao family. Next day both friends leave for their journey. And Li Libo is very happy and he asks a man, Master, how long until we arrive? And then Li Libo says to Liang Chu, look over there. After some time they reach a place, Pingyang Town. And the town is very crowded but they move ahead. Then at one place they eat food, see many things, and also see many powerful people. After this we see a scene of a street, where a bad man is waiting for Liang Chu and he is saying, the kid you mentioned really passed through here? And we saw the leader of those two, and the leader of those two says, I heard it with my own ears. He told the Li family kid he would sign up at the Yang family martial hall today. This kid sold fish yesterday and got 325 won. Do you know how much that is? You couldn't even buy it if you sold it to your wife. And his companion says, 325 won. We're going to get dragged to the yamen for this. And the bad man says, Humph. You don't get it. Such a large amount, it'd be a waste to give it to the martial hall. We're helping him manage his wealth. This road is the necessary path for the martial hall, and since there aren't many people passing by, it's the perfect time. Stop talking. Here they come. And both of them are moving towards the goons, but both of them don't know anything. And Li Libo says to Liang Chu, Wade, how many do you think I can fight after I finish my training? And Liang Chu says, I don't know. And he thinks, I still don't know how much I can fight with my true strength, if there are few. And then the same goons come in front of them, and they say, Humph. Kid, we meet again. Hand over the money. You can choose to give up the money, or we'll bury you by the roadside. And Liang Chu says, Well, I'll choose to have you bury me by the roadside then. And on hearing Liang Chu's words, these people get angry and they move forward to attack Liang Chu. But Liang Chu attacks them before they can and starts beating them very badly. Another man also comes to fight with Liang Chu, but Liang Chu attacks him with his elbow on his face and injures him. Then throws him away. And when their leader sees this, he too gets a little surprised, but before that Liang Chu punches him in the face and pins him to the ground. And Li Libo gets surprised to see such a dangerous fight and he says, so fast. The fight ended in just 9 moves. And Liang Chu too gets surprised when he sees his strength, that he is so powerful, and he thinks, as expected, my physical abilities have improved significantly. And Li Libo asks, when did you become so strong? Do you even need a master at this point? And Liang Chu says laughingly, ha ha ha. Maybe I'm just a genius. Let's go. If we don't hurry, we'll miss the admissions. But Li Libo is a little suspicious of Liang Chu. Then after this we see a man, and his name is Xiang Chang Song. And Xiang Chang Song says, I am Xiang Chang Song, you two may call me senior brother Xiang. And Li Libo and Liang Chu greet Xiang Chang Song, greetings, senior brother Xiang. And Xiang Chang Song says, please follow me. I will take you to another instructor for your test and explain the details about warriors. This is senior brother Hu, the one who will be teaching you. He is a direct disciple of Master Yang. And then Liang Chu sees someone and he is surprised and he says, that's the warrior from the market? And we see Hu Qi, and he turns back and he comes to Liang Chu and says to him, oh, it's you too. And Xiang Chang Song says, what a coincidence. Senior brother Hu, you know these two junior brothers? And Hu Qi says, the bullhorn pomfret I used for my breakthrough was bought from this little brother's stall. And Xiang Chang Song says, that's great. You two will train under senior brother Hu. Tonight, you are allowed to stay at the martial hall. And both say, senior brother Hu, greetings. And Hu Qi says, follow me, junior brothers. Next, I will test your innate bone structure. And Liang Chu gets surprised, but Hu Qi laughs and says, don't be too nervous. It's just to determine which path suits you best. And Liang Chu says, we still don't fully understand what martial arts cultivation paths entails. Could senior brother explain the principles to us? And Huchi says, principles, the foundation of martial arts is divided into 4 stages: skin, flesh, bone, and blood. Skin barrier, skin toughens like oxhide, resilient and hard to break, greatly enhancing defense. Flesh barrier, muscle strength surges. Lifting a grown man with one hand becomes effortless. Bone barrier unleashes power more recklessly, allowing feats like breaking stone and splitting monuments. Blood barrier, an all-around enhancement, like embroidery on silk, making everything stronger. At its core, it all comes down to a single word: refinement. But for ordinary people, no matter how much they refine, there is always a limit. To break past this limit, 2 things are indispensable: technique and medicine. And both of them get very surprised after listening to Hu Qi, and he says, exactly. Methods refer to martial techniques. For example, Yang Martial Hall's 3 fist techniques. With a proper technique, a person gains the staircase to ascend. And Liang Chu thinks that must refer to cultivation techniques. And Liang Chu asks, what about medicine? And Hu Qi tells, the techniques provide the path upward, but this path is steep and treacherous. To climb faster and more steadily, one needs a handrail, and that handrail is medicine. The bullhorn pomfret you sold? That's the medicine we need, and Liang Chu thinks it's perfect. With Zed, I should be able to acquire these things easily. And Hu Qi says, no need to rush, junior brothers. The martial path is long, focusing on each step first. Then Liang Chu says, thank you, senior brother. Then please assess our bone structure. And we see some people watching Liang Chu, Li Libo, and Hu Qi from a distance. And one of the men says, third young master Xiao, is this the one you were talking about? And then someone else comes behind that man, and he says, that's right. As long as you kick these 2 out of the martial hall, I can make sure your request is granted. And his name is Zhao Xiuyuan. Then the scene shifts. And we see the manager, and he says, Master, this Liang Chu is 15 years old, the perfect material for refining elixirs. His age is similar to the 3rd young master's, and he's an orphan. As long as we capture him and refine the elixir, young Master Zhao's condition. Then we see a man, and he is Master Xiao, and he says, your honor has been frail since childhood, and it's getting harder to find a fetal pill from someone of the same age. This Liang Chu is indeed the ideal material. And the manager says, but I heard that Brad is joining the Yang clan martial hall. With Yang Dongxiong's temper, it won't be easy for us to make a move. And a man is hiding and listening to their conversation. Then the manager starts leaving, and he says, then, Master, I take my leave. And the man sees Liang Chu's poster, and picks it up, and he thinks, I must consume the celestial elixir and break through my elixir aperture. Anyone who stands in my way, dies. Then we see Li Libo, who is in a lot of shock, and he says, I never expected you to have a top-tier bone structure, while I only have a mid-high tier. This is rigged. And Liang Chu says, this must be talent. And Liang Chu starts walking ahead, so Li Libo goes behind him, and Liang Chu says, hurry, let's go to the martial training grounds. But then Li Libo sees someone who shocks him, and we see that it is Qingjie Chang. And both are a bit shocked to see Qingjie Chang, and Li Libo asks him, what are you doing here? And Qingjie Chang says, why can't I be here? If you can come, why can't I? And both get very angry, and they both come face to face. But Liang Chu asks both of them to calm down, and he says, we're from the same town, forget it, forget it. And Liang Chu thinks, Qingjie Chang, also from Yixing City, 2 years older than me. A well-known expert fisherman in town, and had a good relationship with the previous owner of my body. Then Liang Chu says, Brother Jie, are you here to practice martial arts too? And Qingjie Chang says, that's right. In this world, who doesn't want strength? So after selling the fish and saving enough money, I came here. And Liang Chu says, then let's head to the martial training grounds together, senior brother who is already teaching there. And Li Libo says, right. If we don't hurry, we'll miss it. Then we see that some people are training, and Li Libo, Qinjie Chang and Liang Chu are also training with them. But they are having a lot of problems. And then Huqi asks them to stop and he says, "Everyone, take a break now." In the afternoon, Instructor Lu will continue the training. And we see that all three of them are very exhausted, and Li Libo says, "So exhausting. I'm already thinking of quitting." And then someone says, "Where's that fishy smell coming from? It stinks. Can you get lost already?" And the other man's friend says, "Yeah. Were these three born from a fish's belly or what?" And the bad guy says, "Each of you give us 100 wen, and we'll let you stay here." And as soon as they both listen to that man, they get very angry. And Li Libo is going ahead to fight. Qinjie Chang stops him, and he says, "Calm down. Don't cause trouble for senior brother Hu." And Liang Chu thinks, "With my current strength, I don't know if I can handle these three." And the bad guy says, "What? You want to fight? Come on, I'm about to break through the skin barrier, and I'd love to test it out." And Liang Chu thinks, "Skin barrier, huh? If only we were in the river." And Qinjie Chang and Li Libo are getting angry, but then someone says to those scoundrels, "Lu Yen Kai, what are you three doing?" And as soon as all three hear the voice, they get very shocked and get scared. And we see that Huqi says to them, "If you have nothing to do, go stand in a stance for half an hour." And all three get scared after seeing Huqi, but the scoundrel says, "Humph. Consider yourself lucky, there's no place for cowards like you here." And then Huqi shouts at the people and he says, "Didn't you hear me?" And all three get scared and say, "Coming, senior brother Hu." And Li Libo becomes very happy, and Qinjie Chang says, "Enough, cursing behind their backs won't change anything." And Liang Chu thinks, "Still strength. I need to hurry up and get stronger." And then Li Libo hears someone's voice, "Libo, brother Jie, I need to head home for a bit. Please help me take leave this afternoon." And both Li Libo and Qinjie Chang are shocked, and they don't understand anything, and Liang Chu hears someone's voice, "Lotus Pond. Danger. Enemy." And Liang Chu thinks, "This is my key to getting stronger, nothing can go wrong." Then we see Qinjie Chang and Li Libo at night, and Li Libo is saying, "Yeah. Liang Chu hasn't returned in a whole day." And Qinjie Chang says, "The emperor isn't worried, but the eunuchs are? Wade must have his own reasons." And Li Libo says, "Are you looking for trouble?" So Qinjie Chang says, "You just need a beating." And then both of them feel something, and someone comes in front of them and he says, "Looks like heaven is smiling upon me today. Running into you two cowards again. This time, there's no senior brother Hu to back you up." And both of them become a little nervous after seeing that bad man, and that man laughingly says, "Watch me cripple you both." Then the scene shifts, and we see Liang Chu, and with him are his crocodile and catfish, in their original form. And Liang Chu is going deeper into the water, and he is saying, "Right now, Immovable and Chunky are already close to skin barrier strength, yet they still sent me a warning out of fear. Just what kind of creature is this? I'm here." And when Liang Chu looks inside the cave, a lot of herbs have been destroyed. And Liang Chu is shocked to see this, and he says, "Damn it. Judging by these marks, that thing must be huge." And then the crocodile and the catfish feel something, which scares them a little. Then Liang Chu sees a huge foot in front of him, and he is shocked too. And he says, "After eating the treasure fish last time, my synchronization rate has reached 11.7%, and I can now control 35 kilograms of water. More importantly, my underwater perception range has expanded from 1 meter to 6 meters, allowing me to fully sense the details of the waterbed." And when Liang Chu looks ahead, he gets scared, because there is a very big monster in front of him. And seeing it, he says, "What is that thing? Is that the monster? Is this a crab? This is way too big." And really the crab is very big, and Liang Chu looks very small in front of it, and Liang Chu thinks, a creature this size, could it have gained sentience? According to Instructor Hu, any beast that surpasses the skin barrier is considered a spirit beast. Judging by its size, it's probably a spirit beast. And Liang Chu looks at his beast and says, "But it shouldn't be too strong, otherwise Immovable and Chunky wouldn't have had a chance to escape. Can I really do this? Me, without a plan, Getting stronger must follow a plan, that's true. But this. Then Liang Chu remembers what he was told earlier, you monster. Humph. Just like your father, you don't know what's good for you. There's no place here for cowards like you three. And Liang Chu remembers all these things, and he says, but accidents and danger have always been a part of my life. The events that change your life require risk. The truly meaningful things often happen by chance. Only the insignificant ones are carefully planned. I refuse to accept this. When something is within my grasp, I don't just hand it over. Lai Tuzhang tried to take my life so he died. You want to take my lotus field? Then let's see whose skills are greater. And now Liang Chu gets ready to fight the crab, and along with him both his beasts also come in their original form to fight the crab. And Liang Chu moves forward to attack, and both the beasts also move forward to fight the crab. On the other side, we see that Qingjie Chang is beaten very badly, and Lu Ting Kai is in front of him, and he says to him, you sure have some guts. Where did that other fellow of yours go? And Lu Ting Kai grabs a brick and hits Qingjie Chang on the head with it, and he says, to your damn grandpa's house. And Lu Ting Kai is having a lot of fun. Then he rubs his foot on Qingjie Chang's face, and says to him, looks like you two really have a death wish today. You three, keep watch at the gate. I'm gonna have some real fun torturing these two. And Lu Ting Kai's friends agree to this. But then Li Libo moves forward to attack Lu Ting Kai, but Lu Ting Kai easily blocks his punch, and twists his hand, due to which Li Libo feels a lot of pain, and he starts shouting. And Lu Ting Kai says to him, you sure love to talk, huh? Keep talking now. And your eyes are pretty damn sharp. I'll gouge them out for you, let's see how well you train after that. And as soon as Li Libo sees that Lu Ting Kai is about to attack Qingjie Chang's eyes, Li Libo says to him, bastard. Stop this right now. But Lu Ting Kai was not going to listen to him, he attacked Qingjie Chang's eyes, due to which Qingjie Chang feels a lot of pain, and he starts shouting with pain, but then someone shouts and asks Lu Ting Kai to stop. Then the crab catches a stone and crushes it and attacks Liang Chu, and Liang Chu dodges its attack with great difficulty and says, damn it. This crab shell is practically indestructible. And Liang Chu orders the crocodile to go ahead to fight. And the crocodile grabs the crab's claw with its jaws. And Liang Chu, controlling the water flow, sends the catfish to attack the crab. But Liang Chu starts trembling and thinks, damn. I lost control of my mental energy and misfired. Then the crab frees its claw from Liang Chu's water flow control. But then the catfish attacks the crab, and Liang Chu becomes happy seeing this. But the crab again moves forward to attack, but then the crab starts destroying many lotus roots with its feet, seeing that Liang Chu starts getting angry. But then the crab again attacks Liang Chu, which Liang Chu is able to stop with great difficulty, and blood is coming out of his mouth. But still he controls himself, and he starts looking at the crab with angry eyes. And now he wants to kill the crab, but the crab is very big and Liang Chu looks very small in front of it. Then Liang Chu tries to see the weakness of the crab, and he knows that the crab must have some weakness. Then the crab again attacks Liang Chu, but then the crocodile and the catfish attack the crab and stalk it at one place. And Liang Chu thinks, no matter how much damage it takes, it instinctively guards its underside. That means its weak point is the belly, right? I've been planning this move for a long time, compressing the water flow to its absolute limit at the tip of the wooden spear. Right now, I can barely construct 2 rings with my remaining mental strength. This will give the spear 2 stages of acceleration. And then the system tells Liang Chu, mental strength is too low. Risk of backlash from controlled water beasts. Host must cease action immediately. And Liang Chu thought while attacking, but I said it. Let's see which of us really has the skill. The lotus field is mine. And Liang Chu attacks the crab using all his strength. And this time Liang Chu's attack is so dangerous that it goes through the body of the crab, destroying its dangerous cells as well. And seeing this, Liang Chu becomes happy and he starts laughing. But due to using all his powers he becomes very weak, and he falls unconscious. After some time Liang Chu opens his eyes, and there is a crocodile and a catfish near him. Then he says, ugh. Am I about to pass out? Did you two pull me up? My head hurts like hell. I'd better be more careful using that move next time. What's this? Which crab monster did you two drag up here? This thing will give me so much water essence. Then the crocodile points to Liang Chu in some direction, seeing which Liang Chu is surprised. Then he says, "Is this crab a female?" Then he opens the cell of the crab and there are lots of eggs in it. Liang Chu is surprised to see this and says, "These are crab eggs? Damn, if I could tame a big crab like this, my lair would be unstoppable. Wait a second. I can't tame the big one, but the eggs inside. Those are just baby crabs, right? Can the blood command seal tame these eggs?" Then Liang Chu makes a cut on his hand and puts a blood command seal on one of the eggs, and he becomes successful in it, and he gets a little confused at what is going to happen next. And then the egg starts cracking and a small crab comes out of it. Then the system tells Liang Chu, successfully tamed stone crab. Can evolve by consuming 8,000 water essence to transform into stone crab king. After some time, Liang Chu cooks the crab meat and eats it, and finds it very tasty. And he also gets a very high fusion rate. Then now his cultivation level also starts increasing and a lot of power starts coming in him. And seeing this, all three pets are happy, and Liang Chu can also feel his power has increased a lot, and he says, "My injuries. They're completely healed, a divine miracle. I actually pushed my fusion rate to 36.6%. Besides the physical enhancements from eating the mystic fish, I also gained extra energy from the fusion process. And I can feel my own blood energy now, according to what instructor who said I should be close to breaking through the skin barrier, maybe even stronger. You too can have the remaining crab meat and eggs. The meat won't stay fresh for long, and each egg only gives 6 points of water essence, not worth keeping. As for fist, nah, I can't have it eating its own kind. That's too cruel. Since it's only the size of a fist, I named the little crab Fist. If I can break through the skin barrier within a month, I should officially become a martial hall student. By then, the Xiao family won't be able to threaten me anymore. Now I just need to return to the martial hall for tomorrow's morning training." On the other side we see that someone told Hu Yankai to stop. And Hu Yankai looks back and there is a man in front of him, and he says to Hu Yankai, "Lu Tinkai, that's enough. The martial hall has its own rules. And his name is Lu Xiaohui." And looking at Lu Xiaohui, Hu Yankai laughs and says, "Oh, so it's Instructor Lu. Don't blame me, this isn't my decision. I'm just carrying out Xiao Third Young Master's orders." And hearing this, Lu Xiaohui gets surprised, and Hu Yankai says to him, "Tell me, you dog. Are you going to follow the rules of the martial hall or the rules of the Xiao family? Look at this guy. Left the Xiao family for just a few days and already forgot who his master is. If the Xiao family hadn't taken in you and your father, do you think you'd be where you are today? Wouldn't it be better to just stay a cowardly, obedient dog? Do you really have the guts to stand up for yourself, loser? Or did you forget? Your father is still in the Xiao estate. Say something nice to me, and maybe, just maybe, I'll put in a good word for you." And listening to those people, Lu Xiaohui gets very angry, but he thinks, "Dad, as long as I can protect my family, I don't care what happens to me." Then Lu Xiaohui says sorry to them. And Hu Yankai and all his friends start laughing out loud, and Hu Yankai says, "Yes. That's right, just be a good dog. Lu the lapdog. What a nice ring to it." But then Qingjiachang spits on Hu Yankai and he starts laughing. Even though Qingjiachang is injured, he is not afraid of Hu Yankai, and he says, "You know what? I just can't stand your little tricks. It's honestly pathetic." And Hu Yankai starts laughing and he starts beating Li Libo, and he attacks one of Li Libo's hands and breaks his hand, due to which Li Libo gets very hurt. Then Hu Yankai says to him, "Playing hero, huh? Go on, keep at it. I won't even lay a hand on you, I'll just make your friends suffer instead." And Qingjiachang gets very angry and he says, "You bastard! Come at me if you dare." And Hu Yankai says, "You think anyone's coming to save you now? Instructor Hu isn't here, what are you two counting on to back you up?" But then someone attacks one of Hu Yanzai's companions and throws him, and seeing this Hu Yankai gets shocked, and he looks back. And we see that Liang Chu comes there in a very angry state, and his eyes are shining. And Liang Chu gets very angry, and he becomes very serious. Then he looks at his friends who are very injured. And seeing both of them, Liang Chu says in an angry voice, "I swear, I'll knock out every single one of your teeth." Then we see two people hiding and watching all this, and one of them is Hu Qi, and he says, "Master, it's all my fault. I was too happy about breaking through the blood barrier today, drank too much, and arrived too late. That's why this happened. I never realized before that Lu Xiaohui was such a cold-blooded person." And the other man is Yang Dongxiong. And he says, Lu Xiaohui may be cold by nature, but his concern was genuine. Now, however, he's been held back. And that's exactly why he can't break through the blood barrier. A warrior without courage is like a body without breath. And Hu Qi says, "Master, let's go help Brother Liang. He only just entered the martial hall today. Lu Tinkai is close to breaking through the skin barrier, there's no way he can win against him." But then Yang Dongxiong notices something and says, "Wait, this boy's blood energy. Interesting." Then Hu Yankai laughingly says to Liang Chu, "Haha. You think you can break my teeth? You really think you can do that?" And Liang Chu says, "I already told you, I'm breaking all of your teeth." Then Liang Chu moves forward to attack them. And Hu Yankai also sends his companions forward to attack Liang Chu, and he says to Liang Chu, "You're just a lowly fisherman. Get him." And Liang Chu goes flying and kicks a man. Then he dodges a man's punch and hits him hard on the face. Then the fat man tries to kick Liang Chu, but Liang Chu easily dodges his punch and hits him hard on the face. Then after beating all of them, Liang Chu glares at Hu Yankai and says, "Now it's your turn," and Hu Yankai gets really angry and says, "You think just because you beat them, you can stand on equal footing with me? Dispersing blood energy, that's just the first sign of approaching the skin barrier." Then they both start fighting, and Liang Chu gives a tough fight to Hu Yankai, and dodges his attacks and attacks him multiple times. Liang Chu hits an uppercut on Hu Yankai, due to which blood starts oozing out of his mouth. And Liang Chu smilingly says to him, "You are nothing special." And Hu Yankai gets really angry and takes out a knife and attacks Liang Chu and steps on his body. Then he says, "Just a filthy fisherman. Who's got your back? You're nothing but a fatherless loner. What do you even count for?" And then Liang Chu moves his hand forward, and Hu Yanzai's knife goes into Liang Chu's hand. But Liang Chu catches his punch and says to him, "You are truly disgraceful. A disgusting, despicable coward." And Liang Chu punches Hu Yankai hard on the face and throws him on the ground. And it is clearly visible in his eyes how angry he is. And Liang Chu breaks many of Hu Yanzai's teeth, and his condition has become very bad. And he is very scared of Liang Chu, and he tells Liang Chu to stay away from him. And he takes Lu Xiaohui's name to ask for help, and he says, "Aren't you going to do something? You're an instructor." He's attacking his own fellow disciples. But Lu Xiaohui stays quiet. And then a sword falls on the ground in front of them. And Liang Chu gets shocked to see this. Then Yang Dongxiong comes there, and he holds his sword, and he says, "Lu Tinkai, Shuidingi, Yue Long, Ding Qiji, the 6 of you are no longer welcome at this martial hall. Lu Xiaohui, get yourself to the confinement room. I'll deal with you later." And Lu Xiaohui says yes. And Liang Chu looks at Yang Dongxiong and he thinks, "Master? Could it be the legendary Yang Dongxiong? Master Yang?" But with such a grave mistake. "I can't stay in the martial hall anymore, damn it." And Liang Chu remembers what Hu Yankai had said, "Who's got your back? You're nothing but a fatherless loner." And Liang Chu thinks so. In the end, it still wasn't enough. Then Yang Dongxiong says to Liang Chu, "Your name is Liang Chu?" And Liang Chu says yes. Then Yang Dongxiong says to him, "Do you have any interest in becoming my direct disciple?" And as soon as Liang Chu hears this, he gets very surprised. Then Yang Dongxiong moves his hand towards Liang Chu. 2 weeks later, Yang's residence. Some servants are talking, And one servant says, I heard Master officially accepted his 9th direct disciple today. And another servant says, and I heard he's quite the handsome young man. Then we see a lady, and she has come to meet Liang Chu, and she has brought some clothes with her to give to Liang Chu, and she says, Young Master Liang, these are the ceremonial robes from your senior brothers and sisters. We ladies will help you put them on. But Liang Chu says, no need. Could you ladies please step out for a moment? I'll put them on myself right away. And Liang Chu takes those clothes. Then the lady leaves from there laughing. Then Liang Chu starts going inside his room, and he thinks, it's been 2 weeks since I defeated Lu Tingkai. My injuries, along with Qingjie Chang and Li Libo's, have mostly healed thanks to Master Yang's treatments. I'm no longer alone. I have a master, I have brothers and sisters, I have a solid backing. Xiao family. It's time for my revenge. Then we see Hu Qi, and he says, if you asked me. That night, Liang Shidi was really hanging by a thread. Can you imagine someone who just entered the martial hall for a single day defeating someone close to breaking through the skin barrier? Then the 4th senior brother, whose name is Su Zi Shuai, says, All right, Xiao Qi, I've heard you say this for 2 weeks already. And the 8th senior brother, whose name is Xiang Chang Song, says laughingly, Haha, for the master to take a liking to Liang Shidi at first glance, he must be a true dragon among men. And the 5th senior sister, whose name is Zhua Xiaoqin, says, 4th brother, are you perhaps jealous of our little junior? What did you give him this time? And Su Zi Shuai says, I gave him a whole tungsten steel arm guard. Just a small token. Senior sister, don't tease 4th brother too much. It must have been tough for him to save up for that. Then Hu Qi says to them, little junior brother is coming out. Then we see Liang Chu, whose appearance has completely changed now, and he is happy to see them, and he says, senior brothers, senior sisters. Liang Chu sincerely thanks you all for your generous gifts. Then the 3rd senior brother, whose name is Rahul, says to Liang Chu, Ha ha ha, I haven't given mine yet. Junior brother, I've prepared something good for you. A fine piece of tungsten steel. You can come to my shop anytime, and tell me what kind of weapon you need. And Liang Chu becomes happy, and he says, many thanks, senior brother Lu. And Xiang Chang Song says, all right, everyone, the gifts are given, let's head to the main hall. Don't keep the master and mistress waiting too long. On the other side, Zhao Manor. The manager tells his master the news, and he says, Master, Lai Tu Zheng's body has been found, but the thing inside his stomach is gone. And as soon as his master hears this, he gets very angry and slaps the manager hard and says to him in an angry voice, useless fool. Do you know how much trouble this will bring us if it gets exposed? If the authorities come knocking, you'd better be ready to offer your head an apology. And the manager says, Master, it's all because of that Liang Chu. He must have killed Lai Tu Zhang and let that thing loose. And his master says, Humph. Liang Chu? Zhaoer says he's now Yang Dongxiong's personal disciple. You want to test Yang Dongxiong's blade yourself? Listen up. I don't care what methods you use, just find that thing immediately. As for Liang Qiyu. On the other hand, Yang Manor. We see Yang Dongxiong and his wife's name is Mira. Then Yang Dongxiong says, Liang Qiyu, you are grateful and repay kindness, courageous yet steady, and diligent in your ways. I wish to take you as my disciple. Do you accept it? And Liang Chu says, a disciple is willing, and Yang Dongxiong further says, by joining my sect, you must remain humble and open-minded, diligent in self-discipline, respectful to teachers and elders, and filial in all things. You shall not harm fellow disciples, act unjustly, or abuse power to oppress others. Do you understand? So Liang Chu says, disciple Liang Chu understands. And Yang Dongxiong says, good. From the moment you drink this tea, you will be my direct 9th disciple. From now on, no one may bully or insult you, your master will be your pillar. Do you understand? So Liang Chu says, disciple Liang Chu understands. After a few days we see some disciples who are doing their training. Then they are asked to rest for half an hour, and they are very tired. Then a disciple says, do you know? I heard that Liang Chu has become Master Yang's personal disciple. And the second disciple says, isn't that right? A true rags to riches story. So the first disciple says, the most satisfying part is that Lu Tingkai and his group got kicked out of the martial hall. And the second disciple says, exactly. I even heard that there were bigger players behind them. And the third young master Xiao gets angry after listening to those two disciples and says, damn it. That bastard Liang Qiyu. Then the scene shifts and we see that Hu Qi and Liang Chu are sitting at one place. And Hu Qi says to Liang Chu, senior brother Liang, do you know what the 4 barriers and 7 paths are? And Liang Chu says, I only know that skin, flesh, bone, and blood are the first 4 barriers. As for the 7 paths, I'm not too clear on them. And Hu Qi says the so-called 7 paths are galloping horse, wolf smoke, tiger hunting, stomping elephant, heavenly dragon, forge, and transcendent rainbow. Galloping horse realm. At its peak, one can restrain dozens of galloping horses without moving. The wolf smoke realm, blood and energy rise like wolf smoke. Spirit reaches new heights. Resembling celestial beings. When strength erupts, it is like encountering a pack of wolves. The momentum is overwhelming. Tiger hunting realm, blood and energy. Surge like tides, strength erupts explosively. Ordinary people, upon witnessing it, feel as if a weak rabbit has encountered a fierce tiger. Their courage shattered in fear. Elephant stomping realm. With every move, the earth trembles. Capable of shaking mountains and calming rivers. Those who reach this realm are fit to be great generals. Heavenly dragon realm. The person becomes like a celestial dragon. They can break free from worldly constraints. With a single bound of 3.000 meters. Then can soar into the clouds. Such a person is considered a martial saint of their nation. I don't know much about Furnace Realm and Transcendent Realm, but I do know that experts at this level have already reached the realm of ascension and transcendence. And Liang Chu thinks this world's martial arts are truly formidable. If I achieve ascension, can I return to the world they once came from? Then Liang Chu says, I wonder what realm master has reached? So Hu Qi says, junior brother, do you know how many martial halls there are in Pingyang town? And Liang Chu says it should be 3, right? And Hu Qi says the other 2 families can stay in Pingyang town because they can only afford to open a school here. As for Master Yang, he stays in Pingyang town simply because it is his hometown. The reason our martial arts school ranks first every year is that Master Yang is the only tiger hunting realm in Pingyang. And when Liang Chu hears this, he is surprised and he thinks, tiger hunting realm. With the system's boost, I can enter that realm even faster. And Hu Qi says, let's end today's morning lesson here. Junior brother, there's no need to be too anxious about breaking through. Progress should be gradual, with a balance of tension and relaxation in order to truly improve. And Liang Chu says, thank you, senior brother. And Liang Chu thinks this way, the Xiao family's pressure will be reduced. Next, we must quickly capture the mystic fish and break through the skin barrier to become true martial artists. After some time, Liang Chu comes back to his boat and he has caught a lot of fish and he says, with the help of immovable catching fish, this sampan is getting a bit too small to hold everything. I need to consider changing to a bigger boat. Sigh. Unfortunately, I didn't encounter the treasure fish. I wonder when I'll be able to catch it. The synchronization rate has already reached 37%. If I catch it, maybe I'll have a chance to break through the skin barrier. Said host, Liang Chu, refinement of Z's spirit, water monkey, white, sync, 37%, water essence, 0, water beast tamed, Taiwa croc, consumes 779 water essence to evolve into horned crocodile, water beast tamed, 6 whiskered catfish, consumes 779 water essence to evolve into tiger head catfish, water beast tamed, stone crab. Consumes 8,000 water essence to evolve into stone crab king, evaluation. And then Liang Chu sees a feather, and he gets surprised. And the weather of that place suddenly starts changing and he hears a strange sound, and he does not understand what kind of sound it is. And when he looks ahead, he gets surprised because in front of him a big phoenix and a very big toad are fighting. And seeing them, Liang Chu gets very surprised that both of them are fighting with each other, but the phoenix pushes the toad inside the water. And a very big wave of water is formed, and due to it Liang Chu's boat starts to turn over, and many fish caught by him also go into the water. And his boat also breaks. But then the phoenix screams loudly, due to which a loud sound is produced, and due to that Liang Chu starts fainting, and he goes into the depths of the water. After a while Liang Chu regains consciousness, and there is a small crab in front of him, and he is happy that his pets have saved him again, and he thinks, so it was that bird's cry that knocked me unconscious? That spirit beast's strength is terrifying, then the spirit beast that caught it must be even more terrifying. Sigh. This trip was for nothing. The boat's destroyed, the fish are gone, the plan to break through the skin barrier has to be postponed. Then the crocodile comes to Liang Chu and she wants to say something, and Liang Chu is also surprised when he asks the crocodile what is the matter. So the crocodile opens its mouth and there is a fish in its mouth, and seeing it Liang Chu thinks this is a crimson scholar perch. I can attempt to break through the skin barrier. After this Liang Chu comes to his home and he remembers some things. Blood energy is a reflection of a martial artist's physical strength, but a martial artist does not become powerful simply because they have strong blood energy. Rather, it is because their physical constitution is strong enough that they can condense sufficient blood energy. Blood energy is not the cause of strength, it is the result. But this result, in turn, can reinforce the cause, forming a positive cycle, growing endlessly. And Liang Chu sits down to do cultivation, and he remembers what Huqi told him. This is concentration incense. It helps martial artists break through their gates more easily. The key to breaking through the Pi gate and becoming a martial artist is to temper the blood energy in the chest. Each time I train my blood energy, I can replenish it with fish meat. This is already the 38th attempt. Still a little short. The key to breaking through the Pi gate is to use qi and blood inner force to stimulate the body's fascia and skin, achieving the effect of skin refinement. Qi and blood refer to the energy you feel in your chest when you practice martial arts. It is the essence condensed by the human body, the very root of life. When you can sense a warm current flowing from your chest, merging with your blood energy, this qi will begin to move. It will spread towards your limbs and bones, and finally, when it reaches the fascia and skin, it will transform into a surge of heat. This is skin refinement. This is already 40th attempt. But I'm still just a little short. I'm at 49%, but I still haven't broken through the Pi gate. But I have a feeling that when I hit 50%, something major will change. The fish meat is gone, and lotus roots barely have any effect on me anymore. It looks like I'll have to go back down and catch another mystic fish. Is it already dawn? And then someone knocks on the door, and we see two people. One's name is Qingqing, father of Qingjiecheng. And the name of the other one is Li Dakong, father of Li Libo. And Qingqing says, Wade, when I saw you come home late yesterday, your uncle specifically asked me to check on something. So Liang Chu says, Uncle Li, is something wrong? And Liang Chu thinks, aren't these Li Libo and Qingjiecheng's fathers? Why did they come looking for me? And Li Dakong says, it's nothing major. I just wanted to ask you if you've seen my son. He hasn't been home for 2 days. Is he still at the martial hall, or is he off somewhere messing around? And Qingqing says, yes, my kid hasn't come home either. I came to ask if you knew where he was. And Liang Chu says, oh, I came home late yesterday, so I forgot to tell you, Uncle Li, Uncle Chen. The three of us performed well and caught the attention of the martial instructors. They specifically set aside a room in the courtyard for us, so we've been staying there, focusing on our training. And Liang Chu thinks the truth is, they're actually too scared to come back since their injuries haven't fully healed. And Li Dakong laughs and says, ha ha ha. That really does sound like my son. Our Yixing city has produced a few martial artists before. And Qingqing says, haha, I've watched Wade and these two boys grow up together since they were kids. I knew they'd all achieve something big one day. Then Li Dakong said, oh right, Wade, your uncle also came to remind you, our village is organizing another river god sacrificial ceremony. And Liang Chu says, river god? Sacrificial ceremony? And he thinks, I do remember this custom. But didn't they already hold one 3 months ago? And Chinching says, that's right. The river god showed a divine sign yesterday, so we definitely have to hold another ritual. And Li Dakong says, yes. The river god jumped out of the river and caught a flaming giant bird. It even shattered the sky. And Liang Chu thinks they're talking about that toad. Then Liang Chu says to both of them, Uncle Chin, I understand. I'll contribute money and participate when the time comes. Then the scene shifts, inside the lotus cave. Liang Chu comes out of the water and attacks the crocodile using his weapon, but the crocodile also attacks him, which Liang Chu dodges and thinks, the amount of water I can control is roughly 150, and I can compress it into 10 liters, meaning each liter can unleash 15 kilograms of force, and Liang Chu shows both of them his power. Then both of them come back to their original form. And Liang Chu says, right now, my strength underwater has already surpassed Pi Gate. I could probably take on 4 Lu Tinkai with ease. Evaluation: Water Monkey Z spirit originates from the Great Lord of the Huai Whirlpool, can awaken the potential of small, weak individuals with limited vitality. As for this water blade technique, if only I had a weapon suited for it. Third senior brother mentioned that this world has a kind of weapon called spirit weapon. They can self-repair and even level up, but such weapons usually require rare heavenly materials and earthly treasures to forge their cores. I wonder when I'll get a weapon like that. Just then the catfish says something hot. It's burning. And the catfish is going in a direction, and seeing it Liang Chu is surprised and asks the catfish, what did you just find? Is it buried under rubble? And Liang Chu also goes with the catfish and starts looking, then he sees a feather of the phoenix, and seeing it Liang Chu is surprised and he says, a feather. This must have fallen from that giant bird, it looks rather special. And Liang Chu thinks this should be the same red feather from yesterday? This looks really valuable. Could it be some kind of rare treasure? I just so happen to be heading to senior brother Lu Gang's blacksmith shop later to choose a weapon. I might as well ask him about this then. Then the scene shifts to Pingyang County. And we see Liang Chu and he is going somewhere and he thinks, I remember the third senior brother's forge is around here. Then Liang Chu notices something and he sees that smoke is rising at a faraway place. And Liang Chu is surprised to see that and he thinks, what's that? It looks like it's near Pingyang County. I'll ask senior brother about it later. Then we see Lu Min's blacksmith shop. And Lu Gang says, ah, junior brother Liang, you've arrived. And Liang Chu says, senior brother Lu, I found something interesting while fishing this morning and came to ask you about it. And as soon as Lu Gang sees the feather, he becomes very surprised and he says, a crimson fire molt feather? This is a real treasure. And Liang Chu thinks, this is a real treasure. And Liang Chu says, brother Lu, you recognize this? So Lu Gang says, of course, junior brother Liang, this is an amazing find. This is a feather from the crimson fire bird. A rare spirit creature. Whenever it encounters a life-threatening danger, it injects all of its life essence into one of its feathers. The feathers then scatter in all directions, allowing it to escape. Among them, one feather will contain the most life essence. This is known as the scarlet fire gold feather. Using this feather, the bird undergoes rebirth, similar to how a lizard sheds its tail, but in this case, it discards its entire body. And on hearing all this, Liang Chu becomes happy and he says, that powerful? So is this one of those golden feathers? And Lu Gang says, haha. Unfortunately, no. The one you have is a crimson fire remnant feather, but it's still a great find. Then Liang Chu says, oh, I see. Then, senior brother Lu, what should I do with it? And Lu Gang looks at the feather and he says, if I were you, junior brother, I wouldn't just absorb its energy. You should use it to forge a spiritual weapon. Junior brother, have you decided what kind of weapon you want? And Liang Chu says, I've already made up my mind. And Liang Chu thinks, based on my last battle with the stone crab, a polearm would work best underwater, and it would also complement my self-created techniques. Then Liang Chu tells Lu Gang, I choose a spear. And Lu Gang gets surprised on hearing this and he says, a spear? That's quite rare in our martial school. While it's true that longer weapons have an advantage in reach, they're also harder to control. And Liang Chu says, I've already made up my mind. Please, senior brother, embed this feather into the spear. At the same time he thinks, I'm finally going to have a spiritual weapon. And Lu Gang says, alright. Once it's ready, I'll have someone notify you to come and pick it up. And Liang Chu says, thank you, senior brother. Then Liang Chu says, by the way, senior brother Lu, what's with that long plume of smoke outside? And as soon as Lu Gang hears this he gets serious and he says, that place, that's Manhwa Temple. A huge fire broke out there this morning, and amidst the flames, something appeared that shouldn't have. And Liang Chu gets surprised and he says, something that shouldn't have appeared? And Lu Gang tells Liang Chu that the place is ruled by mountain demons, and we see the mountain demon who looks really dangerous. A few days later, we saw a temple. Then we see a pregnant lady who is running, panting, she is very tired and she is asking for help. And then she sees a young monk and the lady asks the monk for help. And the young monk looks back and sees a tired pregnant lady who is asking for help. Then she starts fainting and the young monk goes to her and tries to wake her up. After some time, the young monk takes the pregnant lady to a room and takes care of her. After some time, the lady wakes up, then the young monk tells his master that the lady is gone. And the old monk says to the lady, Amitba, female benefactor, you have finally awakened. And the lady sits down, and she asks the old monk where she is right now. So the old monk tells the lady, this is Manhwa Temple. What happened to you, benefactor? And the lady says, I am originally from Huazhu County. 3 months ago, I came to Pingyang County to visit relatives. But unexpectedly, I was attacked by a group of mysterious bandits. Then I was blindfolded and taken to a strange place. That place was hell itself. The people inside were tortured into fiendish ghosts. Then the old monk asks, did they kidnap you for ransom? The lady panics and says, no. They said, we are materials for refining pills. Then we see some mysterious people doing some kind of ritual, and there are a lot of people. Then one of them takes out a strange dagger and stabs it inside a man's stomach, and takes out his intestines and makes some kind of pill from his blood. And his companions are shocked to see this. Then one of them, whose name is Liang, says, this is truly bizarre. Brother Lin, what do you think these things in their bellies are? And his other companion, whose name is Lin Guyong, says, this is the fetal pearl elixir crafted by Lord Envoy. These people are first fed a broth made from mountain ghost flesh. Regardless of gender, their bellies will swell, carrying flesh lumps. In 3 months, these flesh lumps develop into fetal pellets. Several of these can be refined into fetal pearl elixir, which are said to grant immortality upon consumption. And Liang says, 3 months to form? What if it exceeds 3 months? Then Lin Guyong says, if left for more than 3 months without extraction, they will hatch. And Liang is surprised to hear this and asks, hatch? Hatch into what? But Lin Guyong says, you don't want to know. Then the scene shifts to the temple, and the master says to the younger monk, Jiming, your senior brother has gone to the city to report this to the authorities. Go deliver the vegetarian meal to the female benefactor. And the younger monk obeys his master, and takes some food for the lady. Then he slowly opens the door, and asks the lady if she is here. And when he goes inside, there is a lot of peace inside, and Chot monk thinks that the lady is sleeping. But then he notices something and he sees that there is blood under his feet, but Chot monk cannot notice whether it is blood or something else. And then he hears some strange sound and he sees that someone is standing, but half of his body is in the air. And when Chot monk looks carefully, he gets very scared because that lady is lying dead in front of him in a very bad condition. And seeing this, Chot monk gets very scared and he starts screaming. But then blood falls on his head, and when Chot monk looks up, he starts trembling with fear because in front of him is the son of that lady who is looking very strange. And he has become a monster, and he has killed his mother. Then we see Lu Xiaohui, who has brought 2 people with him to investigate. And a monk is showing them the way. Then a soldier says, many thanks to young hero Lu for voluntarily helping us investigate this matter. Otherwise, we would have had to trouble the master to find someone. And Lu Xiaohui says, No need for excessive courtesy, Wang Bo. This is simply what we martial artists should do. Then Lu Xiaohui remembers what the manager told him, and the manager tells him, for this matter at Manhwa Temple, you must help our Xiao family cover up some of the corpses inside and bring out the thing hidden there. So Lu Xiaohui asks, what thing? But the manager says, you don't need to know. Once you see it, you'll naturally understand. Then the monk tells those three sirs, it's just up ahead. This is the Manhwa Temple where I reside. Then they open the door and go inside. But as soon as they look ahead they get very scared because the scene in front is very dangerous. There are many dead monks here, and their condition is very bad. Some have their hands cut off and some have their heads cut off. And seeing this the monk gets more scared because his master might be in danger, so he quickly goes to find his master so that he can save his master. And they try to stop that monk but the monk does not listen and starts running fast. Then Wang Bo says to Lu Xiaohui, Xiao Luo has gone after the monk. Let's investigate here first. And Lu Xiaohui says, most of these corpses appear to have been bitten. Looks like they were attacked by a giant insect. But could an insect that big even exist? And there's not a single intact corpse here, maybe. And Lu Xiaohui thinks, damn it, is this what Jingxiang meant by some corpses? And then Wang Bo notices something and says, these bloodstains, the bloodstains seem to lead this way. Looks like the bodies were dragged. The drag marks end here. Xiao Luo and that monk are also here. Then they enter the temple, and the monk is in extreme shock, and when they both enter, they too are shocked. And Wang Bo says, what the hell? What are these things? What exactly happened here? And Lu Xiaohui thinks, so this is what Jingxiang wanted me to take out. Damn it! And the scene in front is really heartbreaking. There is a huge egg in front of them, and seeing this scene Wang Bo says, these corpses. So they were all gathered here? And the monk gets frightened and starts praying, but suddenly the door closes, and seeing this Wang Bo gets frightened and he tries to open the door, but to no avail because it is locked from outside, and Lu Xiaohui says to him, the door isn't the problem right now. It's about to hatch. And hearing this Wang Bo says, young hero Lu, what are these? So Lu Xiaohui says these are mountain ghost eggs. A signature method of the ghost mother cult. And hearing this Wang Bo gets even more surprised and he says, the ghost mother cult? The remnants of the previous dynasty? And Lu Xiaohui says, once a mountain ghost hatches, it absorbs enough flesh and blood to prepare for its second stage. Now that the incubation chamber is complete, it's about to evolve into its second stage, that would be a monster with the strength of a galloping horse. And hearing this Wang Bo gets scared but then the egg breaks and a mountain ghost comes out of the egg and he looks really very dangerous. And Lu Xiaohui says it's hatching. The second stage of the mountain ghost. And monk is very scared, his whole body is trembling with fear and he is praying. And the mountain ghost is slowly moving towards him, then the ghost's speed increases and in one stroke, he bites monk's neck. And seeing this, Wang Bo's other companion gets very scared and he moves forward to attack the ghost, and Wang Bo tries to stop him. Then the ghost's attention goes to that soldier, but the ghost grabs that soldier's face and hits Wang Bo and pushes him away, and blood starts coming out of his mouth. And the soldier now starts asking for help, but Lu Xiaohui himself is scared and he thinks that thing has the power of a galloping horse-level monster. I haven't even fully broken through the fourth gate yet. I have to retreat. I can break down the door with my full strength, no problem. But if that thing gets outside, no. Staying alive is most important. I have always lived like this. Surviving first, always, if I just close my eyes. If I don't see it, as long as I'm safe, as long as my father can live well, but a person like that disgusts me. And Wang Bo's other companion is asking for help. And then Lu Xiaohui takes out his sword from its sheath and attacks the ghost, to which the ghost retreats, and Wang Bo's companion's life is saved. Then Lu Xiaohui says, looks like today is the day I test just how strong a galloping horse really is. Then Lu Xiaohui gets lost in his childhood thoughts and he says, one day, I will become a great hero like Yang Dong Xiong, renowned across the land. And there is a little girl beside him, and she becomes happy after listening to Lu Xiaohui's words and she says, "Wow! Brother Lu, you're so cool." And Lu Xiaohui says, "Hee, this time I'm going into the city with my father. They say we'll be working at Master Zhao's residence. This is my chance." And the little girl says, "Hee. Brother Lu, you'll definitely make it." And then Zhao Shuiyuan comes there and Zhao Shuiyuan says to Lu Xiaohui, "You think you can join the martial school? Ha ha, what a joke! A motherless piece of trash like you should just rot away in a corner with your sickly father for the rest of your life." Then at night, Lu Xiaohui's father is applying medicine on Lu Xiaohui's wound and he says, "Got into another fight with young Master Zhao?" And Lu Xiaohui says, "Father, they bullied me first." But his father says, "Silly child. When you're outside, cough, cough. Don't show off. Respect your elders, be humble and willing to learn." And Lu Xiaohui says, "I understand, father." And his father says, "But, no matter what happens, you must become someone you yourself can respect." And Lu Xiaohui thinks, if it were the master, what would he do? And Yang Dong Xiong says to Lu Xiaohui, "Those who enter my sect must be open-minded, humble, and eager to learn." And remembering all these things, Lu Xiaohui is saying, they must not be arrogant about their achievements, or look down on others. Then he moves forward to attack the mountain ghost and he says, they must respect their parents and elders, and must never harm their fellow disciples or act against righteousness. Those who enter my sect must uphold justice and fight for what is right. They must never commit evil or bully the weak. In the martial school, Master Yang stood firm, his gaze fierce, both feet planted solidly on the ground, a long blade resting at his waist. Young Lu Xiaohui watched intently. That long blade slashed, chopped, stabbed, and spun. The blade gleamed, shining brilliantly like gold and sapphire. The flashes of the blade cut through the darkness like rays of sunlight piercing stormy clouds, forcing his opponent into retreat. The wind and sand swirled as the sky darkened. Master Yang stood alone against the monsters, heavily wounded. To know what happens next, tune in next time. I'm sorry. I can't let this monster escape. I have no choice but to sacrifice you. I could only wound it this much. Thankfully, it's not a true galloping horse yet. Then the wounded soldier says, "It's all right. Young hero Lu. We did a good thing. You are a hero." And Lu Xiaohui says, "Heh. A hero. There are plenty of people in this world who are far more like a heroic than I am." Then Lu Xiaohui remembers what Zhao Shuiyuan had told him, "Go break their teeth for me. From now on, follow me. If you don't, the one whose teeth get broken will be you." And on listening to Zhao Shuiyuan's words, Lu Xiaohui stands in front of those two children, and both the children become very scared. But Lu Xiaohui's hand is trembling and he thinks, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to do this. I must rise above others. I have to become someone powerful." Next day we see that many soldiers are around the temple, and the temple is completely burnt. Then a soldier says, "Found them. They're here." And when all the soldiers go inside, they are very surprised to see the scene inside and they say, what did they just go through? Who is that standing there, leaning on his blade? Then the attention of those soldiers goes to a token which one soldier picks up and starts looking at, and as soon as he sees the token, he understands that this token belongs to Lu Xiaohui, and now Lu Xiaohui has killed that mountain ghost and himself has been burned along with him. And Lu Xiaohui remembers that in his childhood he had not beaten those two small children but had brought food for both of them, and both the children say, "Big brother, why are you helping us?" And we see the condition of Lu Xiaohui, who was beaten very badly by Zhao Shuiyuan, and his teeth were also broken. But still Lu Xiaohui had a smile on his face, and he laughingly told those two children, "Because I'm a hero. And heroes never bully the weak." Now what is going to happen next? We will know in the next part. If you want to see its next part soon, then the more you like it, I will try to upload its next part as soon as possible. So see you in its next part. Till then, bye.